So yes, greetings everyone, and I think today I will be talking about a very important topic, and I think it's best that I record this video so that we won't have any problems on the internet and disconnection issues. But anyway, today I will be talking about will AI replace jobs? Because a human first perspective. The only reason why I talk about this topic is because this is probably one of the hottest topic that I got questions around, and I guess everyone that is in the area of AI always talk about. So I guess is really a good topic to talk about in this kind of time and opportunity, and I would say that this entire presentation is entirely belong to my opinion, but it also contains a lot of things. I talked to so many people, and I try to synthesize all the point of view into this presentation. But anyway, I just want to make sure that this entire presentation is not generated by ChatGPT. So you can be assured that everything I say here is quite original. Yes. So let's start. So yeah, so the first thing I want to talk about is the scaling law. And the scaling law is pretty simple. And the idea is that it assumes that as long as the model size is scaled up and we continue to feed in the more data, then the model intelligence goes up infinitely, right? So we really don't know when that will end, right? If we have more data or if we have more compute, then this kind of process goes continue infinitely. And let's say if we assume the scaling law is true, we will eventually reach AGI, which is a term referring artificial general intelligence, right? And nothing will stop this train, and this train is going up exponentially. Actually, there's I would just further add up to this, that is there's no really a finish line, and you don't really know when that will end, because the definition of AGI is very vague. It just basically means that we reach the level of human intelligence, and it can do almost anything that human can already do, right? But it can be better and better and better, right? So there's no such thing as a finish line. It just scaled up and up, right? According to the scaling law. For example, I think a very good example is that now I'm talking in the year of September 2024, October, right around then the GPT next. I guess that is the name that people are talking about. Basically, GPT-5 will be will be 100 times more powerful than the current GPT-4, right? Which is like really immense amount of leap from the previous model. So let's talk about the AGI a little bit. What is AGI, right? And in the simplest form of AGI is basically referring to something like above average human. So what does that mean? Well, definitely AGI will have immense amount of knowledge, because it has almost all the knowledge in the world feed it into the model, right? So it almost know everything in the textbook, Wikipedia, in the internet, right? Of course, I'm not talking about whether what is right or wrong. As long things are in the internet, in the textbook, it will treat it as a fact, right? So that is how the model will just think about that. Yes. It will have above average writing skills, so it can write really well. It will have above average math, so it can probably solve a lot of mathematical problems that basic human cannot do, right? So it can do. Reasoning, I think AI can do reasoning, because there's a pattern in reasoning, right? And there are many ways we can actually teach the AI to reason, right? For example, we can teach the AI to reason using reflection, using a graph, using trees, right? So in that way, the AI will eventually reach a level that can reason really, really well, right? Music understanding, of course, it will reach a point in which it can understand music, right? Whether it's a sad music, happy music, fast music, rock music, etc. Drawings and art won't be a problem eventually. Of course, now I think in the internet, we can say that the AI doesn't, of course, some of them are very amazing, but most of them we can agree that they are not as amazing as it should be. But if we assume the scaling law is correct, then eventually drawing should not be a problem, right? We will see some very amazing drawings from AI. Yeah. Programming, of course, in the world of computer programming, nowadays you can already see that AI can do exceptional programming. So that is something that AI can do really, really well, because programming has a very clear patterns. So that's why AI can do really, really well. So in simple words, we can say that AGI is something like an above average human. And when usually the term the internet and everyone call them is called median human. Basically, it's like a median human or above average human, right? So that is a kind of like the feeling of AGI, right? And for the purpose of this presentation, I would like to define another term, right? Which is any human that is basically better than AGI, I would like to call top human. There's no real reason why I call them top human. The only reason is that, okay, if it's median, maybe something that can differentiate median is top, but I don't really know what is a better word. So I just call it top. Maybe some English people can teach me whether there's any other good word, but let's stick it up with this term top, which is quite easy to talk about. And another thing that I would talk about more is like any human better than AGI, right? We need to define this more clearly, but I will stop. I will skip that for now. But for the sake, we will define this as a top human. So the next thing I want to talk about is what are some good news from this AGI? No one can stop AGI, and this train gonna move on, because the benefits that will come with AGI is immense. And because if we just look at the angle of benefits is so tempting, and that's why a lot of companies just pour money into it, and the benefits is and the benefits is very clear. That's why people put so much money, right? So what are some good news, right? One thing that is very clear is that we will see something called unprecedented economic growth, right? For example, we will see at least 10x or even 100x of scientific discovery, right? For example, something that took 30 years to discover may only require 2 weeks. And in fact, I'm not talking like based on my only intuition. You can search online and it actually be like that, right? A good example is a Google DeepMind. They did many fantastic projects, and I think they demonstrate that AI can really speed up scientific discovery by at least 10x or even 100x, right? So in the area of drug discovery, protein, nanotechnology, etc., materials, right? Everything. I think we can speed them up really, really fast. Yeah. Of course, another area is productivity. I think this is very clear to everyone. For those who use all the generative AI, like image generation, text generation, music generation, and I think 10x productivity is not really far away, right? And the idea of productivity, we can say something like a job of 10 people could be literally or theoretically done by, like, let's say 2 people. This is not like a mathematical equations, but let's say around 2 people, right? So before a small company may need 50 people, maybe administrations, developers, or maybe a couple of testers, right? Maybe 10 10 may be enough, right? By the way, the mathematics is not divided by 5. Okay, there's no such thing. There's no equation, but that is like a feeling, right? Like 50 could be reduced to 10, right? Let's say like if you have a large size company of 1,000, it could be this down scale to 500, right? And everything I talk about here is not it's not like my belief, right? You can see that a lot of big company in US and Europe, right? They are experiencing a lot of layoffs, and the layoff is not due to economic downfall, right? If you take a look at their balance sheet, right? They're still doing very well in terms of profit. They're always doing new high, right? But the only thing that they lay off is for efficiency, right? Because they can see that less can do more, right? Like less people can actually do more because we got this AI thing going on, right? So this will be true first to the developing countries where they adopt AI, and then it will slowly propagate to probably less developed countries, and slowly the entire world will adopt this kind of change. Yeah. One thing is very clear is that of course, typically we have managers, maybe many employees. Some of them are top and median employees. By the way, I'm not trying to divide people into two categories, but I just want to say that top and median, right, in a normal sense, right? But the new format would be like the manager will still stay because these are the people who make decisions, and I don't think AI will replace this manager because the agency should still be the manager, right? But now we may have less top people, and then maybe even less median employees, right? But what we will see is 1,000 of AI agents, right? Helping this kind of top employees working all this operations, right? And I believe this will be very true in the future. Yes. Many legacy big software companies could be disrupted by the new ones, right? I would not name any big companies because otherwise I will be attacked or whatever. They won't want to hear anything from me. But we will see this big change, and over this 5 to 10 years, you'll hear many big companies collapsing or disrupted, and then many big companies, many new companies will replace them, and each of this new company may only have 10 employees, right? So that is something will come for sure. Yes. And of course, in areas in which AI can easily assist, right? Like in the areas of drawings, reporting, programming, right? Those would be some areas that will be greatly disrupted, especially anything AI can do very well. One thing I got to listen to many of my colleagues is that one thing, of course, everyone is talking about 4 days a week, right? But if this AI really scales up, we can even talk about 3 days a week, right? Or even less, because then there will be less work, but more work it will be about decisions making, about strategy, right? About management, right? Rather than implementation, because maybe AI can do half of the implementations, right? So that could be, that's why I put the word may, right? We don't really know, but this is very tempting to speculate this, right? Now I talk a lot about good news, right? And the reason why I talk about good news is that I don't want to scare anyone. I feel like AI is something you can't stop it, but there's an immense amount of benefits, right? But it will be silly for me to not talk about the bad side too, and something that no one can predict the future, but we should anticipate, we should think about what will happen in the future, and then try to do something with it, all right? If we just don't think about the future, then maybe if something bad happens, then we cannot protect it or react to it promptly, right? So it's really important that we think about what would something that bad can happen, right? So the following slides is something that I think could happen. It may not be true, it may be true, right? But I want you to follow along with me and think along with me whether this thing could be true, right? So something I think could happen is unprecedented social problems, right? And I'm being very bold to talk about this area. I don't want to talk about it, and but I think this is something that keeps in my head, and a lot of my colleagues also voiced that same concern. So that's why I want to talk about it. Again, I don't think it could happen or it could not happen. It's something that we need to imagine about it, anticipate, and if it happens, then we need to do something about it. So, so the first thing that could happen is that people with median amount of reasoning, math, writing, programming will have more difficulty in job markets, right? So I did not define the word median really well, but basically, median is basically, let's say that you are at the same level of AI, right? Like you have the equal amount of reasoning, math, writing. You're not better than AI. Then these people will have more difficulty in job markets, right? Of course, there are people revolves purely around knowledge. We have more difficulty in job markets, simply because AI has a one specialty, and that is knowledge. They have immense amount of knowledge, and if your job is focused purely on knowledge and not wisdom or not like strategy, like imagination, then these people will have difficulty in the job markets. Let's talk about physical labor. Personally, and my colleagues, some of my colleagues share the same thing, that is physical labor may not be affected. And the only reason is because if we design some robots, right? These robots will be too expensive, and physical labor probably won't be affected, right? Now I'm not trying to create any problem within the society, but if we talk about facts, right, physical labor is usually less expensive, and when we compare about robots is much more expensive, right? And maybe if you do the math, then probably robots won't be replacing all this physical labor unless we can mass produce these robots in a very cheap price, right? Who knows, right? But that is for now, right? So that is could be the prediction, right? Service labor, like anything about a human being doing service, like I'm not. Let me not talk about any career, right? Because I would suddenly spark any like fear. But anything that is service labor, we may be affected by the advancement of robotics. And a lot of people argue that, hey, robots, AI won't be able to fix your toilet. And because I'm in this area, I can tell you that, trust me, robotics eventually can learn all the YouTube videos. For example, to iron your shirt, to fix your toilet, plumbers, whatever, cut your trees. It can do everything. Eventually, this will be rich. I'm very sure, like 99%, right? Then but we don't know when, right? But if we believe the scaling law is true, if we have infinite amount of YouTube videos to teach the robotics, then I'm not talking about only YouTube. Basically, any video is fine. Then then eventually robotics can do a lot of service labor, right? So that is something we need to anticipate. Um, um, because I personally code, so and a lot of people talk about coding because a lot of people, my colleagues, are in the area of coding, and I think this is something a lot of my colleagues agree, and that is coding will still be very important because coding is not only for the sake of coding. Coding is also very important. It trains how to think. And at the same time, if we don't have people who can code, then we cannot continue to develop the AI. So coding will still be very important. But any coding that is related to like low-level coding, like making websites or making very basic software, it may have a less importance, right? So it's because AI can generate all this code for you in a very easy way, right? So that is something you can think about coding. So if you think along with me, of course I don't think you have to agree everything I said. or you have to disagree. I think that I just want to bring along with what me and my colleagues think. And then, but one thing we can see is that the biggest class affected will be around the middle class, right? The people that is studying in the universities, and that is the knowledge-based university society. A lot of people talk about new jobs, and definitely it is very like clear that we all agree there will be new jobs, right? But it is also tempting to think that those jobs will also be the jobs that are more complex and probably above average. It's not median tasks because AI can already do that, right? So all this job that arise should be something AI could not do, right? Then we have these jobs, right? So you can say that even though there are more jobs, these jobs are above average jobs, right? So that could also be we can think that this could be true, right? And I want to just bring you like one example of jobs, right? Me and my friend just call it a human data generator. It's a funny term. It can have a better names, but it's basically the idea of human generating data, right? And in fact, in many big company, I'm very sure OpenAI they have a human that curate data. In Cloud, they have probably human that curate data, right? But in the future, it will be much more important. Now, why? Because there will be a point in which there will be no more data for AI to learn, right? Then the scaling law will stop, right? Then what to do? Well, the question is where to get more data, how to make the AI getting better and better, right? And I think there are no more solutions. The only solution is human, right? Then what do? We will pay a huge amount of money or salary for these top humans, right? When I say top humans, is basically these humans that can generate a very unique data set that not any human can do, right? They are the top people. They are very intelligent. They're very creative. They know something. Basically, they are the top humans, right? But I could not clearly define this term, but it's basically people that can create new data sets, right? They will be creating a lot of high quality data set for the AI, right? So this could be one one example of jobs that will arise. So I coming back. I drag everyone to talk about social problems, but I never even talk about what social problems are we trying to talk about, right? So let me think about this. First of all, to be honest, AI can actually help us becoming smarter and more creative. I think everyone can agree to this, right? And if you don't agree, maybe you can think about this, right? If you ask a good question, it can be a ChatGPT, it can be an image generation, it can be a music generation. If you prompt it well, or maybe you ask it a good question, AI can help you more, and it can help you generate more ideas, right? I just remember that I need to arrange a wedding for my friend, and I don't know anything. I just talk with it, and I have very bad idea about arranging a party. Then I ask a very bad question, then it does not help me much. But if I know a lot about wedding, right, I have a lot of ideas. Then when I ask a good question, then the AI can really help you a lot, right? Vice versa, of course, if you ask a okay question, then the AI can help you, but not as much because you could not synergize with the AI as much, right? So the point is that whether AI can help you or not, it depends a lot on your level of understanding or reasoning or intelligence or whatever you want to call it, right? And if we compare to Google, right? If you know what the keyword to search, right, then your creativity goes up. But if you don't know the keyword, then you will be stuck. You don't know what to do, right? So just like that, AI will synergize with very well for those who can use it well, and Google doesn't synergize well with those people who don't really know what keywords to think about, right? So we can come up with this kind of hypothesis, right? Or some kind of thesis, right? That is, and again, I apologize. I don't really define this term called top, but let's say that this top people, right? The people with a high creativity, imagination, understanding, right? Then we can hypothesize or form a thesis that with AI, they can be much, much smarter or creative or whatever you want, because they know how to ask good questions to the AI. Then the AI can synergize with them, right? To create much more product, right? In the meantime, median human, right? And again, I'm not trying to create a divide in the society, but we have to accept that we human beings have different level of creativity. And let's say median people, who knows, maybe they become smarter because through the process, they become smarter, but it can also get worse, right? Because uh, they may rely on AI too much, then they get worse. Or maybe, who knows, maybe they are stuck with the AI and AI doesn't help them much, right? Of course, we also don't know about this below median, but we can also hypothesize the same, right? Then based on this, you may say, Chucky, what are you trying to lead us, right? But the one point I want everyone to see is that one argument is that even though AI increase our creativity, right, or make us smarter or help us, but since everyone has access to the tool, right, median human will stay median, right? Listen carefully. Median human will stay median. So even you are median, and even your creativity is increased, or you become better, you understand better, it helps you arrange the party better, that you will still stay median. Why? It doesn't make sense, because it helps you increase it, because everyone has access to the tool. You will still relatively the same, because the definition of the medians goes up. I'm not sure everyone goes along with me, but because everyone has the access to the tool, you become smarter, and but so are others, right? But the level of creativity or whatever that goes up is more for the top human, right? So that is something that we have to understand. In other words, you will indeed become smarter and more creative, but so are others. So what I'm trying to say, if you are top human, you will go up. If you're median, you will go up. If you are below median, I'm not sure you'll go up or go worse, but you can see that the whole stacks will all go up. So relatively, you are not actually going up, right? But of course, for the top human, you are actually going up. But if you compare to all the human beings, you're not going up, because you have access to the words, to the tool, right? And this is something that I talk with a lot of friends and colleagues, and they resonate with me that that is actually the case, right? So it may be true, it may not be true. There will be other factors that make you go up or go down. But if we assume that everything is constant, then that could be true, right? So that too can widen the current inequality, right? So why is widened? Well, if we imagine that the top people use AI, they can go up. Their imagination, their creativity, whatever, they goes up and up. But the median people and the below median people, they couldn't use AI very effectively. Then maybe the intelligence goes up by 2 or 3, but while the top people goes up by 10 or 20, right? Then this inequality will be widened, right? So in the old times, we observed this inequality between lower class and the middle upper class, right? In the new times, we will probably observe much bigger inequality between top humans and the rest. And this is just a hypothesis, and this could be true, right? Why? Because these are the only humans that AI could not replace, right? And they would be they are among the people that would train the AI. They will be the people who control the AI. At the same time, for the median people and below median, they could or could not be replaced by AI, right? We don't know, we never know, right? But basically they will have a hard time finding jobs, right? Because AI can do as much or as well as them, right? So that is the paradigm. That is a very, very dangerous paradigm that we need to imagine along with me. Yep. So here, if you are top humans, you won't be affected. In fact, you will receive even greater benefits from AI because AI make you even better, right? But otherwise, you will be likely negatively affected. So let us imagine if you're a median human and AI can do the jobs that you do as better, as much as you, right? Or better, or maybe equally well, right? Then you will have a lot of problem in the job markets, right? Then what will happen for the median, right? And if we assume that the majority of people is median, then that could be a problem, right? But if we assume that everyone is top, then there will be not much problem, right? But if we assume that the majority is a median human or below median, then that could be a problem, like hugely problematic. First of all, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, but this could be a thing. That is a general perception of the value of humans will be maybe diminished, right? That is because there's a great divide between top humans and the rest. Then I don't know. This could happen or this could not happen. It will happen if we talk less about the human value, and it will not happen if the society talk a lot about human values, right? Like if we just don't decide human based on the productivity, then the social values or the human values will be kept. But if we only talk about productivity, this kind of thing will be a thing, right? So it's very dangerous. Self-worth will be questioned, and this is very dangerous because the moment a human could not do even a thing AI can do, you will question like what you can do, right? And this is very dangerous, and we need to educate humans about that human beings is not only about productivity, right? There's something that AI can actually can never do that human can do, right? If we not educate human well, this could create a huge problem. I'm not sure you all follow me. So if this is true, and if the job markets is true, then this could be a problem. Depression, I mean, depression is not a thing, right? Because in some countries it's already 20%. Suicide is already in some countries 20%. Crime, we don't need to talk about. You can get the numbers, right? This can be even higher. This can be even higher if this thing is true, right? And if the job markets really have the difficulties, then all these three things will be a problem. Yes. You may say I'm delusional, but I try to think. I try to avoid my cognitive bias and try to talk with a lot of my colleagues and try to argue and debate with like 10 of my colleagues, right? And eventually once we argued and come to the same point, and this is very true, right? And we can prevent it. We must able to prevent it. This. Yeah. And then of course a lot of argument is like we will have a lot of jobs, don't worry. The job markets will handle everyone. But the problem is whether these jobs can be done by everyone, right? And it always come to the point is that if we have AI that can do median things, then the new jobs can only be done by top humans. Then there will be a problem, right? Like what are the jobs that can be done by everyone, like the rest, right? We have to think about it, and of course there will be a solution, but I hope everyone can help along with me and think along with me. What are those jobs, right? And if human doesn't have jobs, then the question of self-esteem, self-worth will be a problem, and as depression, crime will be a thing, right? I don't know. This is just a funny thing, right? Some humans may form a coalition called the anti-AI. This is just a funny thing, but who knows? This could be a social problems, right? We never know, right? So yeah, I hope everyone go along with me, and everything I said could or could not be true. Like I said, you should never predict the future, but you should anticipate the future. right? And you should anticipate the worst future. And if it's true, then you know what to do. If it's not true, then you are lucky. Then you don't need to do anything, right? So I think that should be the philosophy or the level of thinking or the mindset we should have. We should not always just say that, oh, the future will be good. We should also think two angle. And then if everything go along the good thing, then it's good. But if things are going bad and if we anticipate, then we know the solution, right? I think this should be the mindset of every country. Yes. But what I'm trying to say is that if these two things goes along, there will be something called unsustainable growth. What do you mean by unsustainable growth? Well, you have a lot of GDP, you have a lot of big companies experience a lot of economic growth. At the same time, you will have so many social problems, depression, suicide. Then there will be a too big like society. One society enjoying economic growth, another society suffering from depression, crime. Then this kind of country eventually, I don't know really. I'm not sure whether this kind of country will be a country you want to live in, right? So the question is, how do we keep this economic growth? So AI still, so we should not ban AI. I don't think banning AI is a thing, because AI can really help us in this. But the problem is, how do we keep the AI but still keep the social stability? I hope everyone goes along with me. Banning AI is a bad idea because the AI can give us so many good things, and you cannot ban it, because if every country is using AI and if you don't adopt it, then your country just doesn't have economic. And we can also agree, right? If you don't have economic growth, you will never have social stability. These two things goes along, right? But the question is, if you adopt AI, how you can still keep social stability? That is a better question, right? A much better question. Every country must think about. And if we can crack that equation, then there will be sustainable growth. I'm not sure I'm taking too much of the time already, but that is something we need to think about. But how, right? And so I propose something, and I will quickly go because I'm not sure I'm already over the 1 hour mark. First of all, it's only partially true that a person who know AI will be superior. It's not actually true. It's something that big AI company wants to think only, and which is true, but not the entirety. And it's even wrong to say that people who does not know AI will have not a place. So I hope this is my argument, and why I want to say so is because please don't tell me that my favorite sushi shop, if they don't know AI, they will be closed. It will never be true, right? Same for musicians. Same for math teachers, right? So the question is not whether you need to know AI, right? So the key thing, what is the key thing to think about in this equation, right? And that is what AI can never do. That is something that make a person truly superior, right? So in this presentations, after I talk for even an hour, is the most important question that we need to answer is what AI can never do that a human can do, because this is what make a human top. This is what make a human not a median human. This is what make a human top, right? If we can make the human more and more human in that country top, then we can synergize with AI and then create great outcomes, right? This is the question that we must able to answer, right? But of course, my mom teaches me never say never. And I think it's a tough question, right? Because it's really a difficult question, right? Because AI can teach. Come on, AI can teach, and sometimes better than normal human. AI can draw, AI can invest. So if you ask me like what are something that AI cannot do, right? It's such a difficult question, right? But in this presentation, I want to quickly propose 3 things I think AI can never do, right? And there could be many things. Please imagine along with me, right? There are so many things, right? But here I just propose three things, and you can imagine whatever you want, right? The first thing is imagination. Imagination. What is the imagine? Imagine is the ability to imagine a better future, right? The ability to imagine a better solution, right? A new dish of sushi. And I would say AI will never be able to imagine, right? Because why? Because there's no patterns in it. Humans don't know where is the true roots of imagination, right? Where's the true source of imagination? We don't know. We don't know where does it come from, right? And it's like I'm not being unscientific, but now I'm talking about religion, right? But I'm not being religious, right? It's like a frequency that only human can receive, right? And some humans are more sensitive, right? I don't know if you read a lot of literatures in neuroscience, cognitive science. Actually, we need to study more neuroscience, cognitive science, cognitive computing. Actually, we need to spend more time to understand those. But we don't know. Maybe humans read more, listen more, think more, talk more, experience more, then they can imagine more. We don't know. But I hope that we never know. Yeah, I'm actually being controversial, right? Because if we know, then there's a pattern. Then we can teach the AI to imagine, as it's scary, right? Imagining that AI can think about authority and autonomy, right? I think it's so dangerous. I don't want to talk about it, right? But anyway, one thing I want to confirm is that a lot of people ask me that imagination is not creativity. Yes, imagination is not creativity. So what I'm trying to talk, there's a pattern in creativity. So you can actually teach AI how to be creative. For example, we can teach AI to be creative by combining two things. We can be creative by synthesizing a lot of things together. We can be creative by associations and analogies. I think you all agree, right? We can be creative by reasoning and critical thinking, reflections, right? So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell you is that we can teach creativity, right? And that's why if you work with AI can generate something that makes you become more creative, right? But imagination is beyond that. Imagination is basically something that is never in the data set. Only humans can do. Only humans, right? So what I'm trying to bring is that only human can generate new data set. But of course, AI can combine two things from one data set and another data set and combine two things and become a new thing. It can do, but it can never generate purely new data set, right? So I'm not sure like putting I'm not sure like a new type of sushi that never exists in any data set, right? That is only human can do. So what I'm trying to say is that top humans, if a top humans can do imagination, then if it's synergized with AI, then it can even do greater things, right? So why I'm talking about this? Because these are the things that will never replace AI will never be able to replace the jobs like what? Strategists. AI will never be able to replace a job strategists, visionaries, leaders, top chefs, top scientists, top thinkers, top writers, top artists. Because these people are the people who always able to generate new data set that AI could never think about, right? So if you're along these categories, you will never be replaced. Trust me, because you will always have new data set that AI doesn't have, right? What is the next thing AI could never replace? And that is a deep understanding of human beings. And it's extremely difficult to teach AI. And you may say, why, Professor Chucky, why is that? one thing I can argue is that we are so far in the area of neuroscience, cognitive neuroscience, computational neuroscience. We only understand 10 to 20% of the brain, right? And the brain is only like 10% of human being, right? So if we want to understand everything, that would probably take even maybe centuries or decades, or maybe 100 more years to understand that. And everyone in the area of computational neuroscience, cognitive neuroscience, or in the nearby areas, we agree to me that we advance like 0.1% every year. Like we are very slow because it's so difficult to operationalize them and quickly speed them up, right? This area is so difficult. Yes. And I want to let everyone follow along with me. To be a top teacher, you not only deliver knowledge, right? You understand your students. And the word understand, I put a quotation, understand. And only humans can do. So what I'm trying to say is that AI will never be able to replace top teacher, because the top teacher not only deliver knowledge, you understand your student, then you adapt your way of delivery, right? But understanding is not only adaptation, there's much more, right? And AI could not holistically understand that. If you're a top salesperson, then AI will never replace you because you understand your customers. Similarly, if you're a top therapist, you not only do CBT, like I would not talk about CBT or DBT, but if you're a therapist, you know what I'm talking about. You really understand them. And then AI will never replace you, right? Because it requires a very deep understanding of that human being. and the word understand goes beyond persuasion, and AI will never do that, right? Because AI is not human, so AI will never understand human, right? For example, human want happiness, so AI never experience that, so it will never understand happiness. You cannot tell what is happiness, right? Here I want to clarify. Deep understanding is not emotion. If you're talking about emotion, there's a pattern in emotion. Voice, text, face, there is a pattern, right? There's a pattern. So eventually AI will understand emotion, but AI will never able to have a deep understanding. If you trust me, we can even teach something called emotional intelligence, right? Or EI or EQ to AI. Why I can confirm this? Because I'm doing this kind of research myself. So this kind of thing, there's a pattern, all right? But what you cannot teach to the AI is a deep understanding, a holistic understanding. And only a human can do that, right? What do I mean? Well, when you talk to that person, after you talk for 5 minutes, you just instinctively know what to do with that person. And only the top human can do, right? And only the top human has this amazing skill, right? I'm not sure, like AI may one day able to do it. If that one day comes, then it replaces every human in the world. Trust me, right? But I think it's super difficult because currently we still could not re-engineer it to make sure that we can do it, right? As long as we cannot reverse engineer this, we cannot put it into AI, right? Yeah, so even humans don't understand themselves, so it's really difficult. This is so really funny, right? We don't really understand why we are angry sometimes. So yeah, which is good because we cannot teach AI, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if you are top humans, if you can train yourself to have this kind of qualities, AI would never be able to teach you because there's no patterns in these kind of things. The last thing, this is a little bit controversial, but follow along me, and it's not religious, it's scientific, right? and it's ethical reasoning, right? We talk about ethical reasoning a lot, like what is right, what is wrong, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, what is like thing you should do or not do, right? And let's okay, we are there's so many philosophy in the world, and I love philosophy. I love taking classes in Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, right? But if you combine all those philosophy, a lot of philosophy say that humans are born to be good, right? Okay, I may be wrong, but at least it's a good optimist will, right? It's something that if if you don't think like this, then the world is bad. But if you think like this, then at least there's something we can do, right? Then I think this is a good way to think about, right? So humans have this basic quality that you can never teach AI because there's 1,000 rules you can teach to AI, but you can never teach everything to AI because it's just an instinct that what is right or wrong, what is appropriate or not, right? And we don't know where that come from. We just know, right? We just know what to do in that moment. And you cannot teach to AI because there's no pattern. Only the top human know what to do, right? And we don't even know what those top human are trained from. Maybe they read a lot of books, they read a lot of, they think a lot, but we don't really know where that come from, right? Right. As long as there's no pattern, that is something we can never teach AI, right? So humans does not really understand the source of you can read all the legal books, you can never teach this kind of deep ethical reasoning, right? So and it's extremely difficult to write down into rules. So I believe that AI, let's say let's take out the word never, but have very difficulty replace people with great ethical reasoning because as long as there's no pattern, I don't think AI can replace them, right? And why I'm talking about this, again, I'm not trying to be unscientific, but I'm trying to say that as ethical reasoning is so important in the area of government. If you're working in international agency in those kind of geopolitical thing, law, education, health, right? Then this kind of thing is utmost important, right? Like AI would never replace you, right? But if you're in this government and if you just do like very basic reasoning, like very basic legal factual knowledge retrieval, then you may be replaced, right? But if you are doing this kind of very deep reasoning, I don't think AI will replace you. So I hope that I bring you along to the journey that is super important to not just answer the question that if you know AI, then you're safe. That is actually not true because eventually everyone will know AI. But the question that we should ask is what you should do to be above AI, to be top human, right? That should be the answer. That should be the question that everyone should answer as a society, right? And the company, they don't care this question because the company only care about economic growth. But as a human being, as a country, because country need to take care of the well-being of the people, right? Then the country and the people need to question this, how you can be above AI, right? To be safe, right? If the whole country, everyone is top human, then that country will be safe. There will be high growth and sustainable growth, then become sustainable growth, right? If these two equations together, then it's a sustainable growth. So how to make your country have a lot of top humans? This is the biggest question you must have, right? So of course you may say, Chucky, now you're coming to like a human development question. Yeah, I do, right? But if you follow me along, you unavoidably come to this conclusion. Yes. So the first thing, as a country or as a human being, what you need to do, you need to invest. I would say the words relentless, like basically put as much as you can, like everything you can on education. In what education? in at least this kind of education, right? Imagination, deep understanding of humans, ethical. We don't know where this come from, but we just try to educate people to have these qualities, right? Even though we don't know where they come from, but if we try to educate people to have these qualities, then at least we up the bar, we increase the bar, right, of all the humans, right, all the people in that country, right? Then they become top. But if you focus the education on knowledge or data, it's a very, very dangerous education, like extremely dangerous education. For example, if you only focus on mathematics, or if you only focus on like factual knowledge, it's so dangerous. Like if you still focus on that kind of paradigm, your country will have a problem. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Of course, parallelly, you need to provide AI literacy and a holistic picture of AI, and not only teaching them how to use AI. I'm a little bit controversial. That is, you don't actually need to teach people to use AI. I'm very sure everyone will eventually know how to use ChatGPT. I'm very sure. So you don't really need to teach people AI, but you need to teach them the big picture of AI, what AI can give them, what they need to live, and what they need to do in the society of AI. This is something not everyone can think. And you as a country or as a body of agency need to teach, right? Of course, another thing is I talk with a lot of my colleagues in AI, and that's why we just joke that, hey, we should form a team or form whatever to construct a natural data, right? And to train a safe and 1000x AI. So the word safe is basically first of all, 1000x does not mean it needs all the knowledge in the world. I don't believe an AI that have all the knowledge is a 1000x. When I say 1000x, could be productivity, could be whatever, but I don't think AI that have all the knowledge is a 1000x, right? But 1000x is basically the highest quality. It feeds in highest quality and least bias, right? And the safest data, right? Then you can, from the best people in the country, right? Then if you have all the data from the best people in the country, of course, it's so difficult to say what is bias, what is not bias, what is high quality, low quality. We don't really know that, right? But at least we frame it like this, and we try to, at least the first question is we need to answer is what is highest quality, what is least bias. At least that is a good start to define, right? But I think that if we have this kind of framework, and we try to bring people from music, finance, law, and to construct this kind of natural data, then we can have a very, very powerful AI, a 1000x AI that can streamline the country, and we can protect a lot of problems like misinformation. We can promote safety, equality, right, etc. Right. So I think this is a very important agenda in every country. But of course, I'm being very idealistic. But I talk to a lot of my colleagues, and I think this is a lot of people dream, but we don't know whether it can happen. It's so difficult, maybe from the political point of view. Of course, one thing that I think this is so clear. I talk to everyone; they all agree. We must, of course, you can think of a regulate, but regulation would never work. Young people, they are much smarter in some angle than us. So if we try to regulate, it's a wrong angle. They can always use a VPN. They can always use ChatGPT or AI image generation for anything. But the one thing we can do is educate, and we must educate relentlessly, and let this be the choice of them. That is, we tell them the consequence and let them be the choice. And hopefully we let this choice decide the future, right? But the young generation, they should decide by themselves what kind of future they want. And I believe if every human being is born to be good, they will eventually choose the good future, and they will know what to do with AI. But if we regulate them, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure regulation is the right way for the young generation, right? And but what do I'm trying to say? We have to all agree that if we don't educate them, if they just use AI blindly, everyone just use AI, ChatGPT, image generation, it can potentially limit imagination, right? So we have to educate them everything, like everything. What is the angle? What is the good way to use AI? What is not so good way? Or what is the potential? What is the some evidence in neuroscience, right? If we can bring all of that evidence, like scientific evidence, into the table, then the young generation has a better idea what AI and AI cannot do, right? And what can eventually happen, right? Then they can decide the future for us. Yes. Of course, for the older people, why do we don't need to actually educate them? Because once older people they are trained to imagine, I think it's safe to say that if they are top people, then if they use AI, they can go up. They can even create better outcomes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, the young people should be able to use AI, but if we educate them, then it's good. Yes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. If we eventually educate them properly and they become top human, AI and top human become even better, can even be better. Yeah, and like I said, if you don't educate them, I'm not really sure. I'm being pessimistic. I don't think it will be good. Like social media. I think we did not do very well in social media, and we did not educate the goodness of social media and the badness of social media. So mental health becomes a problem, right? People who know how to use social media, they can do a lot of great things, right? They can spread good news. They can use it for emergency. They can use it for a lot of good things, like a lot of good things. But at the same time, if people don't know how to use social media, it can cause a lot of mental health problems, right? So I think this is the same story, right? So we must start from now. Seriously think about educating the young generations and let them be the choice. Another thing we need to think about is regulating applications. And I think this is very clear. Like everyone already agree that we should regulate application layers and not the research, because the research is what brings the benefits, right? But the applications could be a bad applications, right? But for example, like you should not regulate voice cloning on deepfakes because they could create a lot of good things, but maybe some applications for call center, like bad call centers or defamation using deepfakes, then you need to regulate that. There's no choice. You must regulate them as a government, right? And I'm not sure. I'm not a legal guy, but it's very clear you must regulate them as a government. Yes. One thing as a country we need to do very well is I am very sure this will be a problem, like huge problem. Your country will have may experience a very good economic growth. At the same time, a lot of people will like you should monitor crime rates, suicidal, depression, unemployment. These are all the things you need to monitor very closely, right? And especially if there's one thing I want everyone to talk about is social work, right? Like this thing, even though it looks so subjective, if we can operationalize them, make them like an objective and measure them, I think it's good for every country. Yes. Yeah, hopefully I don't take too much time. I hope this is a good presentation, and I hope you learn as much. Something may be true, something may not be true, right? But the last good news is probably, hey, AI has maybe billions of parameters and is huge, but I'm all for it. I think humans has trillions and even more, right? Right. So we don't have to worry too much as long as we keep training ourselves, right? And again, if we understand AI properly, I think AI can enhance our way of living. Yes. We don't have to worry too much. Calculators, electricity, internet, automobiles, they did not destroy the world, right? At least that's good news. So I don't think AI will destroy our news, but it will create some problems on the social problems. Sorry. But if we use them well, then this will be something we need to think about. If a country has a lot of top humans and the majority is top, then it will be great outcomes and it will be a sustainable growth. But if your country, the majority is median and your education cannot follow with the AI, I hope you understand this. If your country cannot follow AI and you produce a lot of median humans, then it's very dangerous. So you need to think about this as a country. And lastly, I want to end with this. In the hunter era, physical power is the most important. If you take away physical power, you have no use in hunter era. No one will hire you. No one like you. Like no one respect you. But in the agriculture, tools is most important. If you have physical power, you are useless. The most powerful people is people with tools. In the electrical era, people who have machine is the most important. So even you have tools or physical power, no, you are out of jobs. Of course, farming is still very important. Physical labor is still more important. Is still important. Otherwise, we won't have rice to eat. But the most powerful people is the one that with machine. If you follow along with me. And in information, the most powerful people is with the technology, right? And if you have physical power, tools, and machine, of course, you're still powerful, but you are much less powerful. Of course, so the reason why I try to say that is everyone will always have their counterfactual argument. They will always say that no, physical, a lot of people can get rich in farming. So no, right? But in the AI era, the most important thing will be intelligence and imagination. Why? Because in the AI era, we will have AI. AI will be very, very pervasive. So whoever can be top, who can above AI and can control AI, these are the most powerful human beings. They will control the AI and they can control the society. They can strategize how the country should do, strategize the company, strategize their lab or whatever, right? So in the AI era, I believe not people who know AI. The most important thing in AI era is imagination, intelligence, creativity, whatever you want to call. These are the most important things because these are something AI can never do, right? So as a country, we must be above AI, right? Yes, thank you very much. And this will be the end of the video. If you have any questions, you can ask me after the video ended. Yes, thank you very much. Bye-bye.